Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and as you can see by the title of the video, I'm going to be starting a 4080 Landcruiser build. So I'm pretty much going to be fully restoring a 40 series cab and putting it on an 80 series chassis. So the main sort of reason I'm doing this is because the 80 chassis are a lot newer. They've got disc brakes, coil suspension, and they're just a lot more solid all round than the 40 chassis, which will hopefully make it drive a bit better on and off road. So before we jump into it, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to Richard from Design and Build and the team at LCS 4x4. If you haven't already, go and check out their videos. They build some awesome cars, and the car they built for Paddy is sort of the main inspiration for this build. Also Billy McKinnon and his team at McKinnon's Cruisers. Billy actually lives just up the road from me. I've gone and seen him already to buy a few parts. He's more than happy to answer any of my questions, so it's a massive help. Now I've never really attempted a project to this sort of scale before, so it is a bit intimidating. I'm just going to try and make some videos to keep the motivation up a bit and hopefully get some help along the way from you guys down in the comments. Alrighty, the cab itself. So I've recently purchased this from one of my granddad's mates. It was involved in an accident. The chassis was a write-off, but the cab itself's in pretty good nick. It does have rust in sort of the usual places, you know, a little bit up here. Down here, all in the floor pans. The back wall itself is good. Usually water sort of drips down from the roof onto that back wall, but that's all sweet. Under the window here, that's all good as well. Firewall's all sweet. But yeah, the cab itself is an 84 model, so I believe that was the last year made here in Australia. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it was also 10th month, so this could be one of the sort of, you know, the last ones made. Being a late model one, it has a slightly different dash setup. This one actually had factory aircon as well, which is pretty cool. Tank underneath and the higher sort of tunnel. But yeah, overall it's a pretty good base to start with, I think. I've got most of the parts there. I've got a few more in the shed. But yeah, let me show you what else I've bought. Me and a mate have bought this car together. He wants the cab for a cab swap project, and I obviously want the rolling chassis. So the cab itself is pretty tidy. There's no rust anywhere, which is good, and the chassis itself is in good nick as well. So this 80 series is a 1993 model, which is non-ABS, which will make it a bit easier to get engineered, and it comes with heaps of bits and pieces, including all this. Righty guys, the previous owner spent about $6 grand on the Marks Adapters LS to 80 series conversion kit. I was originally planning on putting an LS in this car, so it's just worked out perfectly. Amongst all this gear, we've got flex plate, bell housing adapter to suit a H151 gearbox, which I've currently got. Also got a brand new MPC clutch here, some custom made manifolds, so I'm not too sure if they'll work just yet. All the aircon bits and pieces, water pump, fan, whatnot. So the previous owner actually had an LS mounted in the 80 series, so all the bags of bolts and stuff are sort of everywhere. Some stuff's labelled, some isn't, so I've sort of just got to work through it and see what's what. But yeah, let's get cracking on the build. Now we've got the cab off, we can have a bit of a closer look at the chassis. So overall the chassis is in pretty good nick. but the old owner's gone ahead and set it up for a patrol steering box here. He's also welded in some Ramp Customs coil braces, which is good. But yeah, overall pretty tidy. I'm pretty sure in amongst that engine kit there's some diff braces, so we'll go ahead and brace all the diff up. And for the meantime, I'm just gonna hack away with the grinder. All these old 80 mounts have to come off, so we've got 2 up the front here. Engine mounts have to come out to suit the LS. Another 2 here, here, I'll take that off as well. And these back ones also. Alrighty guys, it's the following day. I got all these mounts cut off. The engine mounts were a little bit of a dog, but the rest of them come off pretty easy. I've left this spare wheel carrier on for now, and I've just gone ahead and spray painted where I've cut and grinded just to stop a little bit of surface rust. I also went down and seen the boys at McKinnon's Cruisers. Got their cab mounts here. Yeah, we'll get these tacked up and then get the body on.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Alrighty guys, in that last clip I was sort of rushing a little bit. I had a holiday booked and I needed to get the cab onto the chassis just so I was able to move it around a little bit. But it's been a couple months, I've just gotten back from the holiday and getting back into it now. So I've got these GQ body mounts. These are, I believe they're 3rd row body mounts off a GQ Patrol. So I've got these 2 halves. This one will sit up here on top, and then I've got the other one which will sit underneath. So pretty much my plan from here, I've got to wheel this into the shed onto the 2-poster. I'll lift this cab off the chassis. I've got to weld up all these mounts properly, and then I'll sit it back on the proper rubbers, get it bolted in, and then I want to start ripping all this rubbish off that I don't need. Take these brake lines and stuff off for now, and then it's a clean slate. Just got the front section mocked up, just got a few bits of steel and just a couple of Tech screws temporarily holding it all together. Now I'm going to move on to doing a cross member flip. So I'm pretty much going to be cutting this whole cross member out, flipping it upside down and moving it back slightly just to support the whole grille and the front guards. Additionally, this is going to free up a fair bit of space up the front for a winch and just get the car looking a little bit more proportionate. I'm also going to chop a fair bit of length off the front of the chassis. I've just got to speak with an engineer first and see how much he's going to allow me to chop. Alrighty, I've got the welds all ground back, and what I'm going to have to do, because this has a patrol steering box, I'll take this off and then I'm going to have to cut this bracket down because it's going to foul with the top of this, and I'm also going to have to chop out the side of this here to allow for the plate thickness so it can sit nice and flush. That's it for this episode, guys. In the next one, I'm going to be making up some guards and sliders for this thing, so stay tuned.